Yeah, no doubt. Once you give that guy the lead, he's going to be tough to reel in because of his consistency and able to win on top of that as well. I think the big news here today, though, Lee, would be Kyle Busch finished second in fractions today. Tell us about that.
Well, Kyle Busch, who finished third, he for the second time this season, he had lug nut issues after the race, and his crew chief, who just came back into action last week, has been fined $10,000. The good news is they didn't suspend him, but the big news is Young Money's crew chief Chad Johnston. He was fined $75,000, suspended for 3 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series races. They lost 35 points, owner points, driver points, and it's going to be a tough go. If you wonder why Kyle Busch has had trouble getting it together, not only did he lose his primary crew chief, he lost his backup crew chief for lug nut infractions, and having Kyle lose Chad Johnston now for the next 3 weeks, it's going to be absolutely brutal. The good news on that, though, is he'll be able to sit at home and start working on the cars for the playoffs, which he told me at Kentucky, because they didn't get to qualify, and he came from the back of the pack and basically passed 39 cars, 38 cars to finish second on Saturday night, but they didn't even get to qualify because they couldn't get through the inspection process. And Chad was expecting to have a paper credential this week. Well, he got a vacation instead, so that's kind of what we're looking at for the 42 team right now.
Lee, last weekend, Matt Kenseth announced that he did not have a ride for next year. It was announced here today that Eric Jones will drive the 20 car. Tell us what you know about. We talk about how good the 78 car is. What about the 77 car? Who's going to fill that spot? Just kind of fill us in on how all this craziness starts to fill in now that the announcement has been made that Eric Jones is going to drive the 20.
Well, I said that the Matt Kenseth, when he made his announcement last Friday at Kentucky Speedway, I said that was going to be the first domino. After that,
we have Wayne Johnson, the winner of the Grizzly Nationals, joining us right now. Wayne, congratulations, man. What a weekend you had up there at Belgrade, Montana at the Grizzly Nationals. You swept the weekend, and boy, you picked it up big time here this weekend. What's been the secret to your success here of turning things around here for the season?
Well, the biggest thing is that we've changed cars here. We've been messing with a car that we had from last year that we found out was bent. So that's been the biggest turnaround, really, to be honest. Just messing with a car, we didn't realize that it had that many problems. And, now we're in a good car, so it's sure making my job a lot easier.
Wayne, it's funny when we go up into that area, and we could talk about the race all day, but what I'd like to talk about is the way the fans respond to ASCS up there at the Grizzly Nationals. I mean, they were hooting and hollering for you, and I mean, I bet you don't know 30 people up there in those grandstands, when it comes to just the people that show up to the racetrack. ASCS and the National Tour, the people really respond to them up in that area, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and they do a great job of promoting that race. It's a pretty big deal in the area. I would say that's probably like their Knoxville Nationals or their Kings Royal, to be honest. I mean, there was, it's packed house both nights, and, just good for us as racers, too. I sold a ton of T-shirts and run out of hero cards. And, Adam the Bear helps a little bit with that, I think. Those kids really like that bear, but I wasn't too crazy about it.
Well, I was going to say, there's some pictures going around, and you look kind of like, well, you're pretty scared. I mean, you had that grimace look on your face. Tell everybody how that bear's breath smell.
Wasn't very nice, and he's a big dude. I'm telling you, the pictures doesn't do him justice at all. He's over 900 pounds, and the big thing that I was worried about right away on Friday night was I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. I was a nervous wreck. But, the right rear was bald from being rubber down, and this dude's got 3-4 inch long nails, and he's climbing all over that right rear tire, and I thought, if he pokes a hole in that thing and it blows out, he's going to eat me. Right. It's going to tick him off. It's going to tick him off. So I was a little bit worried about it.
I was thinking the same thing. Hey, Wayne, let's talk about the guy that ran second to you. He's 15 years old. Gio Scelzi. He's the son of the great NHRA driver, 4-time champion Gary Scelzi, the brother Dominic Scelzi, who's won a lot of races. Gio, in just 34 races, has picked up 410 wins and now a 360 win, and he's run second to the guys in the National Tour. Can you tell us what your impressions were of Gio Scelzi from a 15-year-old driver standpoint?
Well, as a driver, we keep track of what's going on out west and east and who's doing what. And, I've kind of kept my eye on him. I watched him, I guess it was 2013 when we run the West Coast Swing with the Outlaws. And we went to a mini sprint race that he was at. And, man, he was impressive. And